Is that your partner? Your husband. They're married. Look at that, Nate. They're married. Just throwing that out there, man. How long did you date before you got married? 2 years. 2 years, Nate. 2 years. 2 years and locked it up. Although she is doing all the talking. Learn from her right now. She's looked at him. I go, how long you were dating? You look. He just went. You had to finish school too? Okay, you're back now. She's got your back a little bit. Okay. Why are you doing that? I'm trying to throw him under the bus up there. You're supposed to be on her side, by the way. Where are you guys from?
Florida.
You're all together. That's adorable. Did you rehearse that this afternoon? When someone asks us where we're from, make sure we go Florida. Ready? 2, 3, Florida.
We don't live in Florida.
You don't live in Florida. Okay. What? All right.
We live in North Dakota.
You live in North Dakota. That's wow. What happened? Did you break a law in Florida? You gotta be a bad person to get kicked out of Florida. The only difference between Florida and North Dakota is there's more meth in North Dakota. You don't know how true that story is. I wish I could tell that bit right now, but I can't do it in this show. I'm sorry. Where in North Dakota do you live? Minot! Get out of here. That's where my meth story takes place. The last time I did meth was in Minot, North Dakota. I don't know if I can tell this story. I don't think I can. Are you in the military? Okay, good. Thank you for your service, man. Thank you. Give him a round of applause, man. That's awesome. Air Force. Up there in North Dakota, man. But boy, you must be terrible at Air Force stuff because they sent you to North Dakota. That's like your trouble is a couple bases, and what is North Dakota? You should have picked a different job. North Dakota. Anybody ever been to North Dakota? Yeah, no one in the world. Even people from North Dakota are just sitting there going, not really, no. You want to talk about cold? That is the coldest place I have ever been to in my entire life, and I have been to the North Pole. I'm not kidding. It's one of those cities that they have those battery warmers in all the parking lots and stuff. Yeah.
Them hanging out of cars.
Yeah, they're hanging out of cars all the time, bro. Yeah. No, I used to do there was a gig I used to do up there a long time ago. Years ago. It was a 4-night gig. So you stayed in Minot for 4 days. It was horrible. But it was, I'm going to see how much of the story I can tell without getting in trouble. Let me think. When I was younger, I used to do a lot of drugs. Okay, let's just say I did a lot of drugs. I'm not selling it. It's a bad idea. I'm very surprised I'm alive. I'll be honest with you. But I used to do a lot. I did a lot of crystal meth when I lived in LA, and I did a lot of coke and a lot of different stuff. And I stopped doing all that stuff for a long time. And then one day I was doing a show. This was maybe about 22 years ago. This is so sad I remember the exact time. 22 years ago, I was doing a show in a bowling alley in Minot. The story is terrible. Bowling alley in Minot. That is the mecca of entertainment, by the way, in Minot, North Dakota. There's a bowling alley. There's a bowling alley, and they have like a bowling alley buffet, which is cocktail wieners and crackers and all the Budweiser you can drink. That's it. That's what you get. But I'm in there, and I'm doing a show. There's a lot of bike. Back then, early in my career, I used to have really long hair. Like really long, and I wore like ripped up flannel and I had like roach clips, and I mean, I was like, it was just a bad time. Anyway, I was doing this show, and afterwards there's a bunch of bikers at the show, and we're all staying in the same place, and there's a band playing the bowling alley as well, right? And this is completely true. And we were staying at the same hotel, had a big party, bounced around and stuff. I see a bunch of bikers, and they're cutting lines of this. And I thought we were talking about doing cocaine, right? Well, I used to do cocaine a lot, and this guy goes, I used to sell it. And I go, I used to do it. And that's how he goes, do you want a bump? I go, sure, I'll have a bump. And I did this, and I'm like, that is not cocaine! And it was one big fat, I'm assuming probably none of you know what I'm talking about. There's probably 3 of you right now going, I remember this. I remember the story. But it was one big line I did up one side of my nose. And if you've ever done crystal meth, it's a terrible, terrible drug. I'm very lucky to be alive from doing it. I'm not selling it to anyone. But it keeps you awake forever. And but this whole side of my brain is filled with like, so like this side of my brain is going, da 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 da. And the other side of my brain is just going. But that's it. That's the Minot story. It's a totally true story. Yeah. Oh, and then I was awake for 6 days. 6 days. I was awake for 6 days after that.